Little Red Riding Hood. Advice to kids. Stay safe. Always follow safety rules, like staying on the path and not talking to strangers. Listen to adults. Pay attention to the advice and guidance of trusted adults, like your parents or guardians. Trust your instincts. If you feel uncomfortable or something doesn't seem right, don't hesitate to seek help from a trusted adult. Be cautious. Be cautious when dealing with people you don't know, and don't be too quick to trust them. Don't stray from the path. Stick to the path of safety and avoid shortcuts or detours that may lead to danger. Once upon a time, in a quaint village, there lived a sweet little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She was known for her kindness and her bright red riding hood, which she wore everywhere. One day, her mother asked her to visit her grandmother, who was feeling unwell and lived in a cottage deep in the woods. Little Red Riding Hood happily agreed and set off on her journey, carrying a basket filled with goodies for her grandmother. Her mother reminded her, "Stay on the path, don't talk to strangers, and don't dawdle in the woods." As Little Red Riding Hood skipped along the forest path, she noticed the beauty of the woods, the chirping birds, and the fragrant flowers. She was so engrossed in her surroundings that she didn't realize a sly wolf was watching her from behind a tree. The wolf, with a mischievous grin, approached Little Red Riding Hood and asked, "Where are you going, little girl?" Polite but cautious, Little Red Riding Hood replied, "I'm going to visit my grandmother, who lives in the cottage beyond the woods. She's not feeling well, so I'm bringing her some goodies." The wolf, pretending to be concerned, said, "That's very kind of you. But, you know, the path through the woods is long and winding. It might be faster if you take the shortcut. See that path over there?" He pointed to a narrow trail leading deeper into the woods. Little Red Riding Hood, trusting and naive, thanked the wolf and followed his advice. She entered the shortcut, while the wolf, with a wicked plan in mind, took the longer path to reach the grandmother's cottage first. When Little Red Riding Hood finally reached her grandmother's cottage, she was surprised to find the door ajar. She entered cautiously and saw her grandmother lying in bed, looking quite different. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have!" Little Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "All the better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf, disguising his voice to sound like the grandmother. "Grandmother, what big ears you have," she continued. "All the better to hear you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with." With that, the wolf leaped out of the bed and lunged toward Little Red Riding Hood. Just in the nick of time, a woodsman passing by heard the commotion and rushed into the cottage. He scared the wolf away, saving Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother. The moral of the story. Little Red Riding Hood teaches us several important lessons. Beware of strangers. It's essential to be cautious when talking to strangers and not follow their advice blindly. Listen to warnings. Pay attention to the advice and warnings of trusted adults, like Little Red Riding Hood's mother. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts and be cautious. Advice to kids. Stay safe. Always follow safety rules, like staying on the path and not talking to strangers. Listen to adults. Pay attention to the advice and guidance of trusted adults, like your parents or guardians. Trust your instincts. If you feel uncomfortable or something doesn't seem right, don't hesitate to seek help from a trusted adult. Be cautious. Be cautious when dealing with people you don't know, and don't be too quick to trust them. Don't stray from the path. Stick to the path of safety and avoid shortcuts or detours that may lead to danger. In conclusion, Little Red Riding Hood is a cautionary tale that reminds us of the importance of being cautious and not trusting strangers blindly. It encourages children to listen to the advice of trusted adults and to trust their instincts when something feels wrong.